Hello, welcome back to another video. In this one we will take a look at the iPhone XS versus the iPhone 12 lineup in general. I upgraded from a XS to an iPhone 12 Pro, and I'm gonna talk a little bit about my experience doing that, and I have some points we're gonna run down here, and in the end, maybe, hopefully, we will know if it's worth it, or you will hear my opinion on how worth it was for me, and hopefully you can, create your own opinion regarding that. So let's just get right into it. The first point on the list is the price. I would consider the iPhone XS to be worth around $350 to $400, depending on, size of the memory and the overall conditions and so on. And the price of an iPhone 12 is ranging from, I think, like $800 and upwards to very high prices. So the difference is, like, let's say that the minimum difference is $400 or $500. That's the average. It's probably the average price difference you will see. So that's if you sell your XS and you buy a 12, you're probably going to see a $400 or $500, loss on your bank account. So that's the price we have to keep in mind. But the second point I have on this is the physical difference, because there is a physical difference. Of course, you've seen all the marketing videos. The XS has, rounded edges, and the 12 lineup has squared off edges. Even though that, in my case, I have the 12 Pro, which is the size that's similar to the XS. The 12 Pro is slightly larger, but those squared off edges make it feel larger than it is compared to this one, if you understand what I mean. So this is a sleeker device in my hand, at least. Might be feeling slippery to some, I don't know, but I have medium-sized hands, so I can grip this nicely. But the 12 Pro is a little bit harder to grip. It's not a problem. I love the phone, but I feel that this one felt a bit nicer in my hands. It's not a huge difference. You can always go for the mini if you are worried about how grippy it is or how easy you can maneuver it. And then we're down to the speed, like the overall usage of the phone, how snappy it is. If you feel like the XS is slow, I never felt that the XS was slow. Just using it, like the average user, browsing social media, surfing the web, taking photos, playing videos, never felt that I needed a faster phone. So speed, in my opinion, is not an argument for upgrading. And I feel that this one will feel snappy even on the next iOS version, but that's, the future will tell that. And then we're down to 4G, 5G. This iPhone XS supports 4G, and the new 12 lineup has 5G capabilities. My experience, or living in Sweden, 5G is, emerging, but it's nothing that is a requirement on a phone today. Maybe it will be in a year. Don't know. Never felt that 4G is too slow for the, browsing social media, downloading apps, playing videos. But there might be, cool stuff coming with the 5G enabled phones later on. But today, in my opinion, it's not a requirement. Coffee, though, that is a requirement for me. So let's move on to accessories. I think you've all seen all the MagSafe stuff coming out for the 12 lineup of phones. Super cool. I mean, I really like it, but I also feel that it's still in the beginning of its evolution, or there will be, within a year, we will see probably power banks, placed on the back on the iPhone 12s and so on. That would be really cool. But I do not feel that MagSafe is such a life-changing accessory that it's something that you need to upgrade for. Yeah, that's just my opinion. I love the way Apple is going with it, but is it worth upgrading from a perfectly fine phone for the average user? No, not in my opinion. But maybe the future will tell a different story. Maybe coming summer we have lots of cool accessories. But then again, we're only like 4 months away to the iPhone 13 or whatever. So no, still not convinced. Then we're moving on to longevity. How long will the iPhone XS keep up? That's also impossible to tell. But how snappy it is right now on iOS 14 tells me that it will be perfectly usable up to iOS 16. In the experience I have with the past iOS versions, this is not the oldest phone running iOS 14, not by a long stretch. So I feel that if you are on the oldest phone that still support iOS 14, then maybe, you should be considering upgrading just to be able to keep using the latest iOS, because, security and everything else that you may benefit from running the latest iOS. But in the case of the XS, no, it's gonna be fine for a couple of years. It's my opinion. Or my prediction, maybe. Yep. And then, moving on from longevity, the way I'm thinking is battery, because it goes hand in hand with longevity. Probably most of you guys who have bought the XS in the first year of its launch is going to feel that the batteries, if it hasn't already reached the 80% threshold where it, will be noticeably worse than it was when you got it, in terms of battery life and keeping up a whole day, or even when you go outside and it's cold, you can see that the percentage is dropping by, chunks. That's also an indication of the phone's battery being, near the end of its life. But if the only thing you have a problem with on the phone, it's in good condition, you have the cases already, you love the camera, the speed, the way it feels, you have everything set up the way you want it, replace the battery. You can go to a third-party replacement for, I don't know, $30 maybe. Depends on where you are, of course, and so on. Or you can go to Apple and replace it. I think is it $50, $60 or something like that. That will bring the battery back to new, and it will probably give you 2 more years of great battery. And I think that plays nicely with my prediction on how long this phone will feel good to use, with updates and so on. So a battery replacement right now is not a bad thing, not in my mind. Then we come into the last point, which is the most important point for me in this case, and my reasoning for upgrading: the cameras. If you're a person who really loves taking photos, shooting videos, maybe even vlogging on your phone, the iPhone 12 Pro is by far the best iPhone camera we've ever seen. Of course, the iPhone 11 cameras are also amazing, but buying them new, the price difference isn't that large in my experience, or what I've seen. So then just go for the 12. You get MagSafe, you get the new cool design, you get the better camera, and in theory 1 year longer, lifespan of the phone. So for my reason for upgrading was the cameras. The iPhone is the main camera for me, and I really missed having a wide angle camera on this one. And I didn't want to go for the 12 or the 12 mini because they did not have the telephoto lens, which I would miss since the XS has the 12 telephoto lens. So I didn't want to lose anything, but I wanted the ultra wide angle. So that's why I went with the 12 Pro. It was very expensive. So I mean, the price difference for me from getting the iPhone 12 Pro in Sweden and selling the iPhone XS in Sweden will probably be, I think $600 or $700 is the price difference, because I don't expect to get more than $400 or $500 for this maximum. I mean, the prices varies, you know, from week to week pretty much. And if you're lucky with the auctions and people are bidding, then you might get $650, who knows? But if you're a person who enjoys shooting pictures and video on your phone, the 12 Pro is amazing. Then again, one can argue that keeping this one, saving like $700, in my case, $800, maybe it's even closer to $800, would make it possible for me to buy a very good mirrorless camera for vlogging or shooting videos and taking pictures. Or if you have a DSLR, you can buy like a great lens, an L lens for a Canon, for example, for that price difference. So that's where you have to, you can buy a drone as well. Sorry, I'm just like, it's coming up with stuff as we go here. But if you're not, if the requirement is not for you to have everything on your phone, but you can keep this as a phone and browse social media, uploading great photos taken by another camera, then you can use the money you save by not upgrading, theoretically, or that you do not spend by upgrading on a different product that will provide even better images or videos or cool drone shots or whatever, because this is still a great phone, do not get me wrong. This is also a great phone, but the price is super high. Do you feel that the price is worth getting the cool new design, MagSafe, and great cameras? Sure, go ahead. But if you're happy with this phone, think that it's working great for you, buy something else that you enjoy. Maybe an electric kick bike, I don't know, just rambling here. But I hope you got some insights in the logic behind me upgrading, and that it helps you decide if you should upgrade. I mean, we are a few months into the cycle already. That's something to consider as well. That's everything for now, and thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope you learned something and that you enjoy the phone you have right now. Don't enjoy the future phone that you don't have yet, that you long for. Enjoy what you have right now. Thank you.